Do you know? There have been 5 mass extinctions on Earth. In the 6th one, humans became the target of extinction. Once thriving streets are now lifeless. The air is filled with a foul smell everywhere. At this moment, a pair of big hands are grabbing 2 disgusting rats. Without hesitation, these hands stuff the rats into the mouth. After eating, this person didn't forget to lick their fingers, as if they were not satisfied yet. These people are just trying to avoid extinction and evolve into insectoid humans. Insectoid is leading his companions to search for their queen. Only the queen will accept beings like them. In a school before the outbreak of Doomsday, several young people are envisioning the future. Suddenly, the air raid alarm sounds. An unknown swarm of insects is attacking from above. Please seek shelter nearby. Upon hearing that it was insects, several young people did not take it seriously. At this moment, a dreadful thing happened. A giant insect pounced on a girl, and blood sprayed onto everyone instantly. At this time, the school was already in chaos. Humans instantly became food in the mouth of the insect. The huge insect then turned its gaze towards the few people beside it. Doris, who was closest to the insect, was already paralyzed with fear, sitting on the ground. Faced with the tempting food in front of its eyes, the large insect's eyes glowed with a deep blue light. Seeing the girl he secretly admired in danger, Roy was eager to step forward to help. But fear made his body completely unresponsive to his commands. He couldn't even speak. At this moment, an insect suddenly appeared on Roy's head. At this critical moment, Lori, who grew up with Roy, pushed him away. But this also caused insects' attack to land on her. This scene terrified Doris, who was standing aside. "Roy, please save me." On one side is Lori, who got injured while trying to save herself. On the other side is Doris, who she secretly loves. Roy chooses Doris, whom he likes, in the end. The injured Lori was carried on the back by Roy's good friend Alan. While escaping, classmates kept dying from the attacks of the insects. Roy and a few others ran towards the classroom. But the door of the classroom had already been locked from the inside by the people in there. A group of people were trapped outside the door. The crowd attracted the attention of the insects. Several insects instantly broke through the classroom door. Alan immediately called Roy and ran towards the warehouse upon seeing the situation. Running in front of them is Martha. She and Alan are the weekly duty students. The key to the warehouse is in Martha's hand. At this moment, Lori behind Alan weakly said, "Put me down. I can run by myself. You won't be able to run fast carrying me like this. You must catch up with Martha ahead. Otherwise, she will lock the door from the inside. If locked outside, all of them will die." So Alan set Lori down and ran forward alone. Carrying Doris on his back, Roy found that he couldn't run any farther. "Doris, can you run a little on your own now?" But Doris's legs have been shaking all along. She can't even stand up, let alone run. Martha with trembling hands. She couldn't even open the door lock. At this moment, Alan rushed over. He pushed Martha aside and forcefully opened the door. He looked at Roy, who was already exhausted not far away. Lori wants to step forward to help. But Alan, who was behind her, stopped her and said, "You guys stay here and wait. I will go and support them." At this time, Insect attacked Roy. A classmate behind him took the blow for Roy. Roy was so scared that he fell to the ground. At this moment, Roy's foot was grabbed by someone. Startled, Doris immediately got up and ran towards the warehouse. This girl actually gave birth to a child for the insected race. The girl slowly opened her eyes. She found that a huge larva had crawled out from inside her body. The girl threw the larva on the ground and stomped on it. Suddenly, a green liquid sprayed onto her face. At this moment, a girl entangled by insect eggs asked her for help. "And please help me take it off. I'm too weak." And saw larva inside the girl's body about to emerge. So she picked up a stool and hit the girl on the ground. The commotion attracted an insected race to come and investigate. The big insect slowly approached Anne and slipped under her feet. She fell to the ground unexpectedly, and the big insect just sniffed at her. Then it turned its head and left, and was so frightened that she was trembling all over. Tears kept streaming down her face. Just then, a scream suddenly came from not far away. The source of the scream is the few people in the warehouse. Just now, a man with several larvae walked towards them. When the man walked to the entrance of the warehouse, his belly suddenly exploded. Several huge larvae, mixed with green liquid, fell to the ground. Witnessing this scene, Doris was so scared that she screamed loudly. The scream happened to be heard by Anne, and crawled out of the classroom. She found that the hallway was filled with mutated human beings. If she rushed out like this, she would definitely be in danger herself. So Anne went back to the classroom and found a larva. Then she put the larva on her shoulder and crawled out of the classroom. Sure enough, with the larva with her, she would not be attacked, and made it outside safely, without any danger. At this moment, the school seems to have turned into a huge cocoon. She looked out through the cracks. The sky was filled with dense clusters of insects, and understood that the outside world had likely fallen, and could only walk through the campus in despair. When you realize you are no longer human, will you seek revenge on those who ignore you in your time of need? The answer from this girl is yes. The door of the warehouse was suddenly knocked. The sound of the knocking scared the girl inside the warehouse, causing her to step back repeatedly. The person knocking on the door is Anne, who came to seek food. Someone is inside. I see the door is locked from the inside. You are survivors, right? Please open the door for me. Hearing human voices outside, Roy and Alan are about to open the door for her. But Lori, thinking about the scary mutated insects outside, immediately stopped the two from opening the door. Who are you? The outside is full of mutated insects. How did you get here? I am Anne from class 4. I am a human. Can you please let me in first? There are so many insects outside. I am very scared. Doris asked Martha if there is a student named Anne in class 4. This, and is indeed in the same class as Martha. However, she knows Martha's secret that cannot be disclosed. Martha then shouted, "Please do not let her in. We do not have this person in class 4. At this point, Doris, who has always been at odds with Martha, also stood up. This time I agree with Martha's opinion. We already have enough people here. Seeing their intense reactions, Roy and Alan were momentarily unsure of what to do. You say your name is Anne. You walk to the middle of the door. Let me see what you look like. Otherwise, I can't open the door for you. And Anne is so upset that tears start streaming down her face. If they see her like this now, they definitely won't open the door. Can you at least give me some food first? I am truly starving. Can you catch water? We'll exchange some food with you. First, here is a hot dog sausage for you. After eating it, go and fetch some water. And finish the food after just a few bites. Just as she was about to go fetch water for more food, she suddenly began to retch. A foul smell emerged as a thick, green liquid was vomited onto her hands. When she looked up at her reflection in the mirror, she was shocked by what she saw. Desperate, and cut her wrist and dripped her green blood into the cup. In the end of the world, a group of mercenaries broke into your refuge. They gave you a box of suspicious-looking potion and asked you to inject it. Would you dare? At this moment, everyone else was asleep in the warehouse. They were suddenly woken up by a knock on the door. Through the door slit, Alan discovered that it was actually a group of mercenaries outside. Without hesitation, he opened the door. Seeing the mercenaries coming in, the crowd cheered happily. After mercenaries looked around, he unexpectedly closed the warehouse door again. What is going on? Only to see a mercenary walking towards them. The mercenary handed them a box. Then he stuffed a backpack into Alan's arms. Aren't you guys a rescue team? Facing Lori's inquiry, Mercenary did not answer. Instead, he turned around and left. Doris immediately followed suit. Please, take me with you. What greeted her was a heavy blow from Mercenary. Poor Doris was instantly kicked and sent flying out. Upon seeing this, Roy hurriedly chased after her, hoping to detain her once again. But just as he reached the door, he was tackled to the ground by a mutated insectoid. As the insectoid's hand wielding a needle was about to pierce Roy's eye, a gunshot rang out. The insectoid's head was blown up. It turned out that the gun was provided by Alan in the package from the Mercenary. He found a handgun. He saved Roy. But the gunshot also attracted many insectoids. The insectoids rushed towards them. Roy hurried back to the warehouse. At that moment, the warehouse entrance was surrounded by mutated insectoids. And this scene was all seen by a person not far away. There are actually still living people here. They are truly a group of remarkable poor creatures. The people abandoned by Mercenary returned to the warehouse once again. Feeling desperate, they had no choice but to wait for death, exchanging food with and each day. However, they were unaware of and beginning to mutate. She mixed her blood into every bottle of water. Doris, who got the water, wanted to drink all the water as soon as possible. Lori, you should drink some too. We have enough water to drink. After we finish it, we can exchange for food. I will drink later. If we drink the water at the same time and something unexpected happens, it will be troublesome if we all collapse at the same time. Martha did not expect that Lori could remain calm in this situation. However, what she said does make sense. And knows her too well. How could she obediently give us water? But this glass of water looks fine. Even if there is a problem, we still have to drink it. Not drinking would mean death. Martha then tilted her head back and drank down the glass of water. In the following 2 days, everyone kept exchanging food for Anne's water source, and continued to put green liquid into the water. However, Anne discovered that none of the people inside changed at all. Only she had turned into a terrifying monster. In these days, Anne's body kept undergoing mutations. Her mouth also began to produce things that looked like silkworms. And only feels weak all over. And she is getting more and more tired. Finally, she spun a huge cocoon and fell asleep inside. The woman, in order to save her life, forced herself to say, "I love you," to her pursuer despite feeling nauseated. Just moments ago, the two who had escaped from the mutant insectoid ran back into the warehouse. In a rush, they closed the warehouse door. The entrance to the warehouse was surrounded and impassable. People inside the warehouse watched as the larva kept struggling in the door crack. Everyone felt lingering fear. Roy curiously asked, "Who are those mercenaries that just showed up? What is inside this box?" Martha opens the box. Inside are some syringes. What are these for? Why are they given to us? Facing Roy's questioning, Martha angrily curses. "You idiot, stop asking. How would I know?" Alan beside suddenly knelt down and cried in pain. The person just now must be Nathan. We were in the same class last year. I killed him. Taking advantage of Lori comforting Alan, Martha seized the opportunity to take the gun. But she was discovered by Doris. Doris was not happy about it. She endured the pain and struggled with Martha. Lori quickly rushed to mediate between the two. Let Alan continue to keep the gun. Although Alan indicated that he didn't want to use a gun anymore in the future. But it is precisely for this reason that he is entrusted to keep it. This way everyone can feel at ease. It's really annoying. Why am I being led by her? All this time, just a glance from me, and everyone rushes to do things for me. All the guys will stand by my side. While Roy was standing guard at the door, Doris came to him and held his hand. "Roy, thank you for caring about me. I'll be honest with you. Actually, I've always liked you. We must make sure to get out together alive." Roy was instantly excited when he heard Doris's words. Little did Doris know that she herself felt like throwing up after saying those words. At this moment, the cocoon in the classroom broke. It seemed like something was about to come out. Quick, look, this is a person with flowing long hair. Queen with long slender legs walked out of the cocoon. Just looking at those soft lips makes people's hearts beat faster. She said, watching videos, but not clicking follow. Be careful, I might come find you in the middle of the night. At this moment, the mutated and arrived at the entrance of the warehouse. She widened her eyes and looked into the warehouse. Doris, who was unaware of this situation, was still cursing beside. How come that person hasn't come to deliver water for several days? I'm nearly dying of thirst. I won't give her any food in the future. At this moment, the door was knocked. Martha was startled and stepped back repeatedly. Anne's voice came from outside. Open the door, I'm here to deliver water. Doris angrily scolded. Took you so long. I thought you were dead. You intentionally made us thirsty for days so that we would open the door for you, right? Put the water down. Hurry and leave, we won't open the door for you. And used her mutated claws to draw a sharp sound on the iron gate. You won't open the door, so I'll just go in by myself. Do you think I'm joking? At this moment, a paw stretched in and pulled out the latch. An altered insected walked into the warehouse. It was Anne, and it was clear that she was very angry. Why have you been refusing to open the door for me all this time? Martha was so scared that her legs were trembling. Alan, shoot her quickly. Hurry up, listen to Martha. Alan aimed the gun at Anne. If you dare to harm my friend, I will shoot. And slowly turned her head. She said gently, Alan, I advise you not to shoot. Upon hearing this, the monster unexpectedly shouted out his own name. Alan couldn't help but be surprised. You know me? Suddenly, the mutated insected broke in from outside the door. But Anne easily dealt with these insectids. Looking at and being so fierce, Martha was so scared that she collapsed on the ground. I'm sorry, please forgive me. And looked at Martha. You don't need to apologize. Even if it was me, I wouldn't open the door for you. This time it's my turn to refuse to open the door for you. But if you don't drink water for a long time, you will die of thirst. It won't be fun like that. And took out a glass of water as she spoke. And she thoughtfully added some seasoning inside. Remember to shake before drinking. That way it won't be obvious. Be sure to drink sparingly. After saying this, and slammed the iron gate shut. This time, I will make the people inside beg me to open the door. Let them also experience what it's like to beg for help. Even if she turned into a monster, she still had to look beautiful in front of her beloved. And told everyone. She added some seasonings to each bottle of water. Remembered the water they had drunk before. The girls couldn't help but vomit. Although there was a lot of food in the warehouse, they dared not eat it. Because the more they ate, the thirstier they became. After a few days, Doris couldn't stand it anymore. She questioned Martha. You clearly know Anne. Why deny knowing her? This is all because of you. Martha looked indifferent and replied. You didn't want to open the door at first. Now you're blaming me. Lori, who was calm, intervened to stop them from fighting. Lori wanted to know what these syringes were for. There was no description on them, and one syringe was still sealed. Lori tried to smash the cans. The cans were unable to smash the syringes. Doris on the side seemed to have some mental disorder. She kept rolling on the ground and saying, Mom and Dad, save me. Why haven't they come to save me? We have all drunk the water given by the monster. We will all turn into monsters. Lori couldn't stand this crazy woman anymore. She angrily shouted, Stop making noise. People outside may have all died. Your parents may have died too. Doris, who had lost her temper, grabbed Lori's clothes and roared. What did you say? What did you say? Say it again if you dare. Lori directly slapped her. I've been tolerating you for a long time. Do you think you're a princess? Roy hurriedly blocked in front of Doris when he saw the situation. Lori, that's enough. Doris is not a tomboy like you. Lori looked at the person she liked who was actually speaking up for someone else. Lori was heartbroken. She turned around and no longer paid attention to them. Roy was also only concerned with comforting his goddess in his heart. In the evening, when others were asleep, Alan pulled Roy into a corner. Lori cried because of what you said. She has always liked you. Don't you know that? You'd better apologize to her. But Roy didn't take Alan's words to heart. He has always treated Lori as his own sister. When Alan went back to prepare to lie down to sleep, a hand reached out to touch him. This person is the Lori he likes. On the other side, and pulled out a pile of cosmetics. She dressed herself up beautifully. Her beloved man will soon be hers. Being forcibly kissed by a female insectoid is quite an experience. The people trapped by and felt extremely heavy-hearted. At night, when everyone was sleeping, Doris looked at the drink mixed by Anne. It seemed like there was a mysterious force drawing her to it. When someone is thirsty, they can even drink their own urine. Not to mention this glass of water. But when Doris thought about turning into the ghostly figure of, and after drinking it, she resisted the urge. At this moment, there was a heavy rain pouring outside. Upon hearing the rain, several people all woke up. Lori quickly took off her coat. She placed the clothes outside to absorb the rainwater. By using this method, everyone was able to drink clean water. Alan wants to get a little more, just in case. At this moment, a hand reached out to Alan. And the forthcoming person was, and who had turned into a bug. This scene scared Alan so much that he broke out in a cold sweat. And firmly grabbed Alan's hand and said, "I knew you two weren't being honest. I didn't expect my guess to be right." After speaking, and pushed Alan inside with both hands. At the same time, the warehouse door was kicked open by someone. The exquisite faced, and appeared in front of everyone. Martha was almost scared to death when she saw Anne's appearance. "You crazy woman, you even put on makeup." Upon hearing Martha's insult, and swiftly charged towards her, Alan immediately pulled out a handgun and shot at Anne. And turned her head slowly towards Alan. "I told you not to shoot at me. This woman is not worth protecting." Alan was startled by Anne's appearance. "And please don't do this. I beg you to let us go." Hearing Alan's plea, Anne leaned over and spoke gently. "Alan, why are you so handsome even at this moment? Do you know that I have a secret crush on you all along?" After saying that, she unexpectedly kissed Alan. What is the experience like to be kissed by a female insectoid? Watching and forcefully kiss Alan, everyone was shocked. And gently said, "Watch the video, but don't follow. Don't leave comments in the comments section. I will come to accompany you in the evening." "Alan, this is the first day we are dating. Now I am giving you a gift. You can choose the closest person to you. I will let her go." Doris immediately shouted, "Alan, please choose me to save me." Facing Doris's call for help, Alan actually started crying and kept urging, "Ask Alan to make a choice. And I beg you, I surrender, I won't choose. No matter who I choose, you will kill that person." Several people were shocked after hearing this. Seeing her conspiracy failed, and, in a fit of rage, raised her paw to kill Alan. At this moment, Lori rushed out and gave Anne a slap on the face. Alan tried to stop but was too late, and grinned malevolently and said, "So it's you." After saying that, and grabbed Lori's leg, dragged her and Alan away from there. Lori was so scared that she screamed, "Roy, help me, save me." Seeing Lori crying for help, Roy remained indifferent. The two of them were soon brought to the nest by Anne, who kept spitting out silkworm silk from her mouth. The two of them were soon fixed to the nest. The two people looked up and discovered many people in the nest had already been sucked dry. Seeing the scene, Lori was instantly frightened and tears welled up in her eyes. Alan angrily scolded, "What do you want to do?" and replied to Alan, I don't know what I'm doing either. You just need to eat, drink, play, and have fun here. You don't need to do anything. You are special. You are different from others. I like you so much. I'm afraid you'll feel lonely. I just brought a girl you like over to keep you company. This way, you won't be bored. Please spare Lori. She's not the one I like. Before Alan could finish his words, and pierced Lori's body with a stab. Streams of blood gushed out instantly. What would people do in despair? Roy in the warehouse has already cried his heart out. He couldn't save Lori at the time. He feels extremely guilty. Unfortunately, 2 normal people were taken away, and the 2 of us were left behind as useless. I have to find a way to escape from here. Martha walked up to the 2 of them and said, Staying here is a dead end. We must do something. Doris, filled with despair, angrily cursed. Go away. Faced with Doris's insults, Martha could only endure. Then Martha took out a syringe. This was given to us by mercenary. Why can they walk freely outside? This must be the vaccine. After injection, it allows humans to walk outside safely. Upon hearing Martha's words, the 2 people no longer cried and made a scene. Are you suggesting that this could be a vaccine? Why don't you take the injection and see? You are saying this because you don't want to take the injection, right? Look, don't be fooled, Doris. Martha picked up the syringe and said, Since no one wants to be a guinea pig, let's draw lots to decide. It's our only way out. What they didn't know was that Martha had long known what the syringe was for, because she had seen it through a crack at that time. Being injected with this thing, soon the body will swell, and then will be instantly eaten by the surrounding insectids. So this needle can lure the insectids, as long as one of them injects. While the insectids are eating them, Martha can escape from here. Roy persuaded Doris to agree to draw lots. Drawing lots is currently the best way. The probability of being drawn is 1/3. I shouldn't be so unlucky, right? But Doris was really drawn. She is just that unlucky. Doris cannot accept this result. She screamed, Are you kidding me, you jerk? You must have tampered with it. As she spoke, she lunged at Martha. You agreed to draw lots. The lot for drawing was prepared by you. You were the first to draw. How could I have tampered with it? Listen to what Martha said. Doris turned around and threw herself into Roy's arms. She pointed at Martha and said, Roy, you like me, right? Let's inject her together. You are a man. You will help me. We can stun him first before injecting. Roy, I love you. We must make sure to get out alive together. Watching Roy remain indifferent, Doris screamed, Roy, look at me. Look at your girlfriend. Betrayed by the beloved one. Have you ever experienced that kind of pain? Roy, I love you. Can you bear to watch your girlfriend being used as an experiment? Let's knock out Martha and inject her. Doris' words scared Martha. She's now hiding in the corner, trembling. They wouldn't really want to inject me, would they? Roy quickly approached Martha. He intended to say something about giving an injection for Doris. But before he could say a word, Martha pulled out a gun and pointed it at the 2 of them. She shouted at the 2. The 2 of you, hurry up and get vaccinated. Otherwise, I'll shoot. At this moment, Doris behind them gave Roy an injection, only to see a large lump instantly swelling on Roy's shoulder. He crouched in pain on the ground. The scene stunned Martha on the side. She never expected this woman to be so ruthless. Roy swayed as he stood up unsteadily. He looked at Doris with disbelief. Why did you do this? I loved you so much. Roy accidentally bumped into the iron gate. Unexpectedly, the gate was not locked. He rushed out of the warehouse carelessly. At this moment, the outside was full of mutated insectids. A large insect was attracted to Roy. The large insect sniffed around Roy but did not harm him. It seems that the surrounding insectids are also not interested in Roy. This scene was seen by the 2 women in the warehouse. They didn't expect the vaccine to really work. After speaking, Doris took out another vaccine from the box. Without hesitation, she injected it into her own body. Martha was shocked to see that the insectoid did not attack Roy, because this was completely different from what she had seen before. At this point, Roy was heartbroken. "Doris, why are you treating me like this? I was going to inject it for you." Now he finally realized how stupid he was. Though he had a woman who loved him so much, he not only did not cherish her, but also hurt her heart multiple times. It's such a funny relationship when the ones you like don't like you back. Alan, do you know why I like Roy? We used to play together with other kids when we were young. Suddenly, a big dog appeared. The other kids all ran away. At that moment, I was so scared that I couldn't move, just as the big dog pounced towards me. Roy stood in front of me and saved me. He looked particularly handsome at that time. I am also particularly grateful to him. The feeling of being cherished is truly warm. Whether it was back then or now, I like him. But now Roy's heart belongs to someone else. Upon hearing Laurie's words, Alan suddenly burst out laughing. "Laurie, don't you think the four of us are ridiculous? You like Roy. Roy likes Doris. But Doris likes me. But you know, the person I like is you. Those we like often don't like ourselves. What a ridiculous relationship." The two people who confessed their feelings to each other both gave each other their first kiss. Over here in the warehouse, Doris, who just got vaccinated. She carefully made her way to the door. She found that the insectoid did not attack her, so she rushed out of the warehouse without hesitation. But she didn't run far. Suddenly she thought of something. She turned back again. Doris came to Martha's side and spat at Martha. And then she said, "The time spent with you makes me feel disgusted. I wish you an early death." After saying that, she left again. I looked at Doris's disgusted face. Martha's eyes showed a fierce light. Just as Doris was about to run towards freedom, she heard a gunshot from behind. The bullet pierced through Doris's head instantly. Did Doris die? A female insectoid kissing you may not be out of love, but rather because she wants to eat you. The sound of gunshots attracted several insectoids, but these insectoids unexpectedly ignored Martha and headed towards the warehouse. Martha couldn't help but feel curious. She hadn't been vaccinated. Why weren't these things attacking her? Just as Martha was about to leave, she suddenly felt dizzy. Martha fell to the ground. The two who were caught had just experienced the sweetness of their first kiss, when they wanted to try it again. The mutated and suddenly came back. She glared fiercely at the two people in front of her. She reached out and pinched Laurie's face. "What do you want to do? Let me see." Laurie's face had already been pinched out of shape. But that's not enough. And then crazily slapped Laurie's face. Alan shouted in distress, "And don't do that! Stop it now!" The more Alan pleaded, the angrier it became. "You two filthy creatures, go die!" With that, and plunged her claws into Laurie's body, and said to Alan, "You can only belong to me," and pulled out the claw embedded in Laurie's body and approached Alan. Cupping his face, she said, "Don't you like kissing? Let me do it then." After speaking, and unexpectedly opened her mouth and bit down on Alan's entire face. This is not kissing at all. It's clearly feeding on him. After a long time, Laurie slowly woke up. When she looked at Alan, she found that he had been ravaged in a horrifying way. Laurie screamed at the top of her lungs, "Alan, don't leave me behind! Please!" Suddenly, a meat pipe pierced into Alan's neck instantaneously. As the pipe inserted, Alan's face was rapidly recovering at a visible speed. When Alan woke up again, Laurie was nowhere to be found. "You're Doris. You have actually metamorphosed." Roy, who had started the metamorphosis, wanders in the corridor. He randomly picks up a kitchen knife and covers his head with a piece of clothing. Roy found the nest where Alan was trapped. Without saying a word, he silently cut open the cocoon silk that trapped Alan. At a glance, Alan recognized Roy. Alan asked concernedly, "Why are you covering your head? What's going on with you, Roy?" "Don't ask, Alan," Roy said. "I just don't want to scare you. There's something I need to ask of you." "Lori is a good girl. Please help me take care of her." With Roy's help, Alan quickly broke free from his restraints. The two of them searched for Lori's trace in the nest together. On this side of the warehouse, Martha, who was in a coma, slowly woke up. But she found that Doris's body was missing. But she didn't care about that anymore. Martha ran out of the warehouse. Martha, who had escaped outside, was horrified to discover that the whole school was enveloped in cocoon silk. Martha reached out to try to break the cocoon silk. But she attracted the investigation of insects instead. Martha, who was hiding on the side, immediately understood. These cocoon silks are like a security system. Once there is any movement, the insects will be able to sense it. But if she wants to get out, she has to use fire. There is gasoline in the car's gas tank. All that is missing now is a lighter. At this moment, in the corridor of another building, I don't know who is eating the insect egg from Insected. This makes the master here very angry, and looked everywhere to find who was stealing my insect egg. It's you. You have already metamorphosed. Hearing Anne's voice, the insectoid immediately stopped eating. When she stood up, she realized this turned out to be the already dead Doris. Doris's mouth kept making a hoarse sound. "I'm so hungry." So hungry, she then attacked Anne and was knocked out of the teaching building. She fell heavily to the ground. Her right eye had been blinded. But Doris had no intention of letting Anne off that easily. Doris jumped down from the building. Seeing this, Anne wildly waved her claws, forcing Doris to back away repeatedly. Seeing that all of her attacks were dodged by Doris, Anne felt upset and frustrated. One darting forward, trying to pierce through Doris's body. But she was caught by Doris's exploit. Doris leaped into the air. Her sharp claws instantly pierced Anne's neck. Doris took the opportunity to ride on Anne, and knew she was no match. So she called for help from the surrounding insectids. However, these insectids just watched on, and showed no intention to help. At that moment, Anne understood instantly. This was the survival rule of the insected race. Doris slowly spewed out cocoon silk from her mouth. Before long, Anne was wrapped up in a cocoon. Doris started to enjoy her spoils. The sleeping insected race queen is about to awaken. Roy and Alan are searching everywhere for Lori's whereabouts. When they arrived at a classroom, they were shocked by the scene before them. The once high and mighty queen was hanging in midair, withered and dry. Seeing Anne's appearance, both of them were stunned. Realizing what was happening, Roy went crazy and shouted Lori's name. They wouldn't have eaten Lori too, right? "Lori, where are you?" Hearing Roy's words, Alan was trembling with fear. Lori might have really been eaten. Otherwise, she wouldn't have disappeared suddenly. Upon hearing Alan's words, Roy excitedly ripped off the mask covering his face. Revealing his metamorphosis face, he said, "Lori couldn't have transformed like that. She must still be alive." Suddenly, someone called out Roy's name. "You are Doris. Why are you here?" Doris did not answer Roy's question. Instead, she asked where Martha was. But Roy didn't know Martha's whereabouts. "Weren't you together when I left? What happened?" This question caught Doris off guard. She only remembered Martha's name, but didn't remember what happened. Doris, who couldn't recall, suddenly went mad. She started rolling on the ground like before undergoing a mutation. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Roy and Alan left the classroom. Doris behind suddenly returned to normal. She called Alan's name while chasing after the two of them. Soon, Doris jumped onto Alan's head. She pinned Alan down underneath her. "Alan, I confessed my feelings to you before. Why did you reject me?" "Doris, calm down. I already have feelings for someone else." Is it Lori? You like Lori, don't you? I must devour her. As Doris spoke, saliva dripped from her mouth. Upon hearing Doris' words, Roy plunged a knife into Doris' back without hesitation. Roy yelled out, Lori must not be hurt again. Alan, run quickly. Lori is counting on you. Please take good care of her. For Lori's sake. Alan had to abandon Roy and escape alone. When Roy pulled out the knife, getting ready to strike a fatal blow to Doris, Doris kicked over. Her sharp claws instantly pierced through Roy's chest. Roy has been taken care of. Doris is looking around for Alan. Alan, come out quickly. I have found Lori. You have 10 minutes to get to the lab, otherwise I will eat her. Hearing this, Alan was too scared to care. When Alan arrived at the lab, he saw Doris desperately trying to pierce the huge cocoon, only to see a figure slowly emerging from the cocoon. It was Doris. She was undergoing metamorphosis. The cocoon was pierced by Doris. Another figure slowly emerged. It was Lori. She was actually undergoing metamorphosis inside the cocoon. At this moment, Lori's beauty stunned Doris. Doris has been deeply attracted by Lori's beauty. She moved closer to Lori uncontrollably. Alan immediately stepped forward to stop them. At this moment, a knife stabbed towards Alan. It's Roy. He's being controlled by Doris. Roy, with tears streaming down his face, stood in front of Alan. Alan looked at his friend in disbelief. He shouted, Roy, what's wrong with you? At this moment, Doris in the cocoon spits out cocoon silk. Soon, the cocoon silk entwines the two of them together. It looks like they are about to be sealed inside the cocoon. Alan raises the stool and attacks Roy. Suddenly, a hand grabbed him. Then Alan was tossed aside. It turns out that a group of mercenaries broke in. Looking at the huge cocoon in front of them, the mercenaries were surprised. I didn't expect us to find it so quickly. These mercenaries are not good people. Martha has been captured by them. The subdued Alan keeps pleading for help from them, but they just ignore him. They push the two to the side. They conducted a simple check on them separately. Then, they said that these two individuals are slightly better than the average hosts, with nothing particularly special, and they plan to let them go. Suddenly, a mercenary thought of something. When they caught Martha, she was planning to set fire to the entire school. They also want to protect the insect king inside the cocoon during its complete metamorphosis. Martha is too dangerous. Thinking of this, the mercenaries' gaze towards Martha slowly turned cold. This scared Martha to death. Martha said to the mercenary, I swear, I will absolutely not do anything out of line again. You just said let us go. However, mercenary doesn't want to hear Martha's nonsense. He orders the two to turn around to execute them. The two can only turn back in despair. Martha takes out the vaccine hidden in her chest. She swore fiercely, If I metamorphose, I will definitely kill you all. After speaking, she injected the vaccine into her chest. At this moment, suddenly 2 gunshots rang out. The 2 mercenaries were instantly killed. A woman with long ears slowly walked towards them. These 2 poor humans are about to be executed. The cold barrels of the guns exude the breath of death. As the gunshots rang out, the 2 mercenaries were instantly headshot, only to see a mysterious person slowly walking down the stairs. Despite the small stature, the person spoke arrogantly. This is my territory. I can't tolerate anyone encroaching into my territory, coming to steal my credit. After speaking, she instantly attacked mercenary. Faced with such dense firepower, mysterious person was not harmed at all. She effortlessly took down an enemy. Alan and Martha were scared by the gunshots and bullets, causing them to cower on the ground. At this moment, a gun fell right next to Martha. Mysterious person skillfully dodged the dense bullets with a slide once again. She then pulled the trigger. She successfully took care of an enemy. The mysterious person leaped into the air, landing on the heads of 2 mercenaries, and shot and eliminated an enemy. Then, she used her powerful tentacles to slam another enemy fiercely onto the ground. Then she picked up his body to use it as a shield against the bullets. Seeing the defense line about to collapse, the remaining mercenary took out a gas bomb, prepared to die together. Just at this moment, Martha unhesitatingly picked up the gun on the ground and killed the person. After the gunshots ended, Martha gasped for breath heavily. She trembled and squatted down unsteadily. Alan wanted to step forward to comfort her. Martha suddenly stood up. Then she kicked Mercenary's body and angrily exclaimed, "Do you think I will obediently accept death?" Seeing Martha's crazy demeanor, Mysterious Person laughed and said, "As expected. People who survive all have their reasons." Then the Mysterious Person walked up to the two of them. He extended his claws and poked Roy's neck. "Don't worry, he can't die for the time being. I just gave him a tranquilizer injection. Hello, my name is Hilda. That little girl is very independent. I like you." A mercenary legion formed by 10 financial magnates. Are they trying to save the world or destroy it? Alan realized that Hilda is not an ordinary person. So he pleaded, "Please, save my friend." It's best to wait for her to break out of the cocoon. If she is taken out prematurely, she will be as vulnerable as a baby taken from the womb too soon and is likely to perish. How many more days until she breaks out of the cocoon? Will you all accompany me to wait here together? You're wearing the same clothes as those people. Aren't you all together? Yes and no. We are a war group composed of 10 families. Peach Blossom Land is an organization that can overturn the world. Peach Blossom Land is not only the name of the organization, but also the name of the command ship. The command ship will input a password every 6 hours. Failure to input the password will be considered abnormal. The city where the financial oligarchs are located will be bombed by preset missiles. Although the 10 families are allied, they also restrain each other. What significance does the mentioned 6 hours have? Guess it right to win rewards. If you guess correctly, I won't kill you. Upon hearing this, Martha was frightened. Martha immediately responded, "The qualification for alliance. Even if 9 families unite to attack one family, the attacked family must have the ability to resist alone for 6 hours to qualify to join this legion. As long as you persist for 6 hours, when the time is up, preset missiles will bombard all families, causing everyone to die." Upon hearing Martha's response, Hilda burst into laughter. "You are such a clever little one. I am increasingly appreciating you." Looking at Hilda's smiling face, Martha did not trust this person. Her sixth sense told her that this Hilda was very dangerous. Alan, surprised, asked Hilda, "Is this Peach Blossom Land meant to resist the insect and save the world?" Hilda chuckled lightly and said, "That does sound quite misleading. Our legion was formed to lead the world in times like this. Due to the impact of the environment, the living conditions for humans are deteriorating. If this continues, humans will disappear just like dinosaurs. The Earth has chosen insects. It wants insects to become the next rulers of the planet. But humans are very adaptable creatures. If the next era is the insect era, then humans can turn into insects. If insects are the next masters of the Earth, would you abandon your human identity and mutate into an insect? Because humans are destroying the environment on a large scale, the Earth is planning to exterminate humanity and support insects to become the next masters. If humans do not want to be exterminated and want to continue to rule the Earth, then we can transform into insects and use the power of science to achieve the evolution of humanity. It does not matter what the appearance looks like. As long as humans can survive, it will be fine. I look forward to seeing what your friend Metamorphosis will look like." As soon as the words fell, a few tentacles extended from the cocoon and instantly pierced into the nutrient solution above. Seeing this, Hilda revealed a satisfied smile. "In order to pass the boring time, you all clean my firearms. I will rest first." While Hilda is not here, Martha whispered to Alan, "We must escape." My intuition tells me that as soon as that cocoon hatches, she will immediately kill us. As long as we set fire to the cocoon, Hilda will definitely find a way to save Cocoon. By then, we can take the opportunity to escape. This plan was opposed by Alan, because his beloved one is in Cocoon. Although Alan had already suspected it, the one emerging from the cocoon was an insectid with the same face as Lori. Before Martha could finish speaking, Hilda returned. Since Alan didn't want to leave, Martha had to figure out a way to escape. So Martha found an excuse to go to the restroom. Martha covered her violently pounding heart. Am I about to start a metamorphosis? If I undergo metamorphosis now, I will definitely be captured. Then I will be preserved like an insect specimen. The more Martha thinks about it, the more frightened she feels. I'm going out later to figure out a way to burn down the school. Even if it fails, it's still better than becoming a specimen. Suddenly, strange noises came from outside. Hilda felt uneasy upon hearing that. Several armored vehicles and various mechanized weapons are on their way here from outside. They are coming to steal Cocoon. Mercenaries are having a civil war over the unborn insected race queen. Hilda has asked Alan to guard Cocoon. She plans to reinforce and resolve Peach Blossom Land. At this moment, a drone is bombing the teaching building. Both the mutant insected and regular insect were not spared and were bombed away. Heard the explosion outside. Martha knew the opportunity to escape had come. She wanted to set fire to this place. However, she was stopped by Alan. At this moment, mechanical dogs stormed in from outside the teaching building one by one. Regardless of whether they are mutated insectids or regular insects, anyone who dares to stand in their way will die under their guns. Seeing this, Hilda threw small drones to destroy the mechanical dogs. Suddenly, 2 missiles exploded towards Hilda's position. The more intense the battle, the more excited Hilda becomes. The fire caused by the explosion has already spread to Alan's side. A large number of insectids have also fled here. Martha is still curious. Why are these insectids fleeing here? But the fierce fire forces the 2 to flee back to the classroom. At this moment, a mechanical dog bursts in. The 2 quickly hide. The mechanical dog scans the cocoon. It crazily shoots at the cocoon. Alan wanted to intervene, but was stopped by Martha. Suddenly, Martha thought that maybe letting Alan go could attract the mechanical dog's firepower, even if Alan couldn't save Cocoon. Perhaps she could escape on her own. Thinking of this, Martha's subordinates instinctively let go. Alan charging out. He used the fire extinguisher for the first time. He blocked the mechanical dog's line of sight. Martha instantly rushed to the side of the mechanical dog. Used the gun in hand to knock off the weapon of the mechanical dog. After Alan, you can figure it out for yourself. I don't want to die with you. With that, she prepared to escape from here. At this point, Martha saw that another weapon of the mechanical dog was already aimed at her. Damn, even the last words are foul language. What bad luck. The queen in Cocoon has finally awakened. Just as Martha was waiting for death to come, Lori finally breaks out of the cocoon. She emits powerful sound waves from her mouth, instantly destroying the mechanical dog. Lori came to Roy. She bit Roy on the neck. The scene in front of them gave both of them a cold sweat. Alan quickly stepped forward to stop Lori. After hearing this, Lori turned her head to look at Alan and said, "Don't worry. I'm just helping Roy come out of anesthesia. He'll wake up soon. I heard everything you said in Cocoon. I just can't move." Lori hadn't finished speaking when Alan excitedly hugged her. Martha on the side seemed exceptionally nervous. She heard everything Lori just said. Will she seek revenge? Martha quickly changed the subject and said she was ready to leave. But the fire in the corridor is too big. We can't get out now. Lori heard this and immediately flew over the fire. All we could see were Lori spreading her huge wings. The blazing fire was instantly absorbed by the wings. When she left here, Alan curiously asked why Doris ran into the cocoon. Was she absorbed by you? Lori also looked puzzled. Not sure what happened. Just feeling a bit strange. Alan cried tears of joy and said, It's okay. Lori, I'm really happy that you're still alive.